Alright, hey, how's it going? I'm back. I got my MacBook back, got a lot of stuff back. I actually have bought a lot of things since the last time we've talked. I bought an elevator stand for my MacBook. I bought a few docks for my iPhone, my old iPhone, which I kind of use as like an iPod Touch now, and my iPhone 4, which is my everyday phone. I got two docks, one for each, because I guess like they have different shapes, so they can't fit the same dock or whatever. What else have I gotten? Got a case, like a hard shell case for my MacBook. I'm about to get another MacBook Pro as a surprise gift for, well, I've already said it, but I'm not going to tell you who it's for. But one of my friends is gonna get a MacBook Pro pretty soon here. But that is that, and it is final season. Maybe some places in the world you're already done with your semester, but here in College Station, Texas, or just Texas in general, we are gearing up for finals. Some people have finals on Friday, May the 6th. My first final is actually Monday, May the 9th. So, I've got about 5 days to get ready for school. And while I'm, or not school, for finals, and let me go ahead and apologize ahead for kind of not looking directly at you. Because over here I have my MacBook. Up there I have my iMac. Here I have my calendar. And there I have my dry erase board. And I mean, right behind the camera is my keyboard to my iMac. So I got a lot going on around this camera. Like, I have a lot to look at. But it is all because I have a lot to tell you guys. Well, not a lot, but I need a lot of stuff so I can tell you this one thing. Kaplan is doing it's called Ask the Consultants Anything. And it's hosted by Kaplan. I don't believe you need to be a student of Kaplan or use Kaplan for your graduate school or SAT kind of thing to participate in this. But that is how I found out about it. I will be taking my SAT, I'll probably be taking my MCAT sometime around February, January, right in there. And I actually signed up for Kaplan for October, and it should run all the way until the middle of January. So that's what I'll be doing, and I found out about this through this. And basically, it's called Ask the Consultants Anything, and it's hosted by Kaplan. The one that I'm actually in is going to be Wednesday, May 11th of 2011, and it's at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and that, I believe, is fully booked. Because if you actually go to the Kaplan website, you will see a reserve your spot kind of thing for May the 23rd of 2011. And that's actually a Monday. And it, as well as from 8 to 10, and I believe mine is actually from 8 to 9:30. Basically, what I wanted to do is let you guys know what I'll be asking, and also if you would like to leave a comment for me to ask your question. But these are going to be the questions that I'm asking. Mind you, some of these I kind of know the answers to. I just want to hear it from someone else kind of thing. But the questions that I'll be asking are along the lines of, would they prefer volunteering or shadowing? And in my experience, they prefer shadowing, but I want to be able to get the definite reasons for that. And my sub-question to, like, the way I wrote this was like this, and I have questions, and then, like, within every question there's, like, a sub-question. So, for volunteering or shadowing, which has priority and why? And then, how important is research? Because I know a lot of people are under the impression that research is kind of like a given, like you have to have research. Other people are under the impression that research is like a icing on the cake kind of thing. So I'm going to get that cleared up. I do think it is good to have research. I do not think it's a mandated thing. I know plenty of people who have gotten into med school in the past with absolutely no research. But things might have changed or something like that. So I'll ask that question. Another question that I'm going to ask is what questions should be asked at the interview from the interviewee. So basically, what would you ask the person that's going to interview you? Like, what questions would be appropriate? What questions would kind of help you out even? I mean, to make you just stand out just by the questions that you ask, that kind of thing. Because I know that they're going to interview you, they're going to ask questions, and then when it's time to go, or when they're done with their part, they're going to be like, do you have any questions for me? And I don't know if it would be a bad thing to ask questions or if it would be a good thing, because I've heard so many things, just because like someone has told me that like you're wasting their time kind of thing, like they have more people to interview, that kind of thing. And then other people have told me you should ask questions because it lets them know that you're interested and stuff like that. So those are two very different ends of the spectrum, and I just want to get like some clarification on that, like documented clarification from a Kaplan advisor, consultant, or whatever, you know. And then there's a thing going around med schools for some reason where it looks better if you do research on the school, and I mean that makes a lot of sense. Like you should be aware of what you're getting yourself into, not only in the profession but like into the school itself, because each school is different slightly, I guess. So that's just something to look into, but I have no idea where to get that, or like where, like, do you go to their website? Because I've been to Baylor's website, I've been to UT Houston's website, and there's nothing that like lets me know what I'm getting into. Like there's just the curriculum, which is basically identical, but there's nothing that's like, this is why we're different, or this is why you should come here, kind of thing. So my question would be how/where to go to research a school. And then basically the why do you want to go here question, like how do you answer that? Or where would you go to find the answers to that? That's going to be another question. So far I'm asking volunteering or shadowing, how important is research, what questions should we, the interviewees, ask, and how/where to go to research a school. And then also just kind of like a one-on-one kind of thing, like are there any pointers for the interview? Like I mean, it's a given that you should be wearing a suit or whatever, shake their hands when you go in, good firm handshake, sit up straight, like those kind of things. But like, what would we not think of? Like what is something that they like to see that they never actually do see? That kind of thing. If you have taken, another question is, if you have taken classes like biochemistry, microbiology, genetics, yada 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 yada, basically the upper level sciences class, the upper level, not just the upper level science classes, but the science classes that you're expected to take as a medical student, the biochemistry, the anatomy, the microbiology, the immunology, the genetics, and things like that, like things that you'll be actually taking your first year of medical school. Does having taken that better your chances as opposed to had you not taken that? Like I mean, I feel like it makes you look good, but I don't know if it would like seal the deal, kind of thing. Like I want to know how big of a deal is that. And then I have two more questions, and both of these are like strictly on how to better yourself, kind of thing. Like one of them is, aside from volunteering, shadowing, and research, what can I do to make my application more appealing to admissions committees? So is there, like, I don't know, I kind of can't think of anything, but is, like, if there is something, what is it, kind of thing. Like that's the idea behind that question. And then also what I think is really important, and I really like this question, like I kind of patted myself on the back for being able to think of this, and it's a really simple question. I mean, it's nothing like I had to go deep into thought for, but the question is, what are the most common mistakes made by applicants? And I think that that's going to be a huge question, because potentially that could be the reason why you do or don't get into medical school, just because you make such a common mistake. I mean, I don't know any common mistakes. Well, I know a lot of mistakes, but I don't know which ones are necessarily common. But I feel like at least if you make a mistake and it's not a common mistake, I feel like that looks better than making a common mistake. I mean, it's kind of common knowledge not to do that, but you do it anyway. I feel like that makes you look really bad. But if no one's ever heard of it or something like that, and I mean, maybe this just wasn't a good time to do it or something like that, that's one thing. But I think that that's a really good question to ask. Yeah, so those are the questions that I plan on asking. I think this is a really good event that Kaplan's doing. It's 100% free. I don't know if there's a pretense of you needing to be enrolled in any kind of Kaplan program, though. But aside from being enrolled in any Kaplan program, if that is a requirement, it's completely free. You get online, and I think it's like a I don't really know what to call it, but basically like you see them but they can't see you, and you're typing in questions and they'll answer it into a camera as they read your question. Like, it's not like you're talking face to face, but it's like you're talking word to face kind of thing. But I mean, I'm pumped for this event. Like, I just think that it's great. And actually, the two interviewers on my event, one is Heather Hoffman, who has 6 years experience as faculty member of the medical school, of a medical school at Texas Medical Center, which is probably Baylor, or, well, it has to be Baylor or UT Houston. Those are only two medical schools there, and those are actually the two that are at the top of my list. So I don't know if Kaplan did that like by a zip code kind of thing. Actually, no, they couldn't have, because this other lady is from the other side of the nation. But yeah, she's a faculty interviewer at the medical school admissions and the program director of her departmental residency training program. So Heather Hoffman, if you're going to get in on this, I would definitely suggest that you do a little research on her just to know like what kind of medicine she's in, how long she's been doing what she's been doing, where she went to school. Obviously, it says that she's a resident training person, like I guess an attending, at one of the either UT Houston or Baylor. And then there's Claudia McHale, and it just talks about her educational background for whatever reason. It's summa cum laude, Phi Beta Kappa from Princeton, got her MD at Mount Sinai School of Medicine in New York, got her Master of Public Health at Columbia University, and resident in preventive medicine and public health. Or I guess she did all of that while a resident in preventive medicine and public health. She's an admissions interviewer at Princeton University through the Alumni Association. So these are actual interviewers that I'll be talking to, so I feel like there's no one, like, all of the advice that I've gotten from to this point has been from people who are in medical school, who have been through medical school, people who are doctors or are becoming doctors, so to speak. But I've never actually formally talking to someone who actually directs an admissions committee, if that makes sense. So this will be probably the best experience, and I will post everything either on my blog or make another video giving you the answers to these questions. But like I said, if you have if you have a question that you'd like me to ask, please leave a comment. I mean, you could be helping me, you could be helping yourself, you could be helping someone you don't even know. So I welcome all questions. If I know the answer to them, I'll be sure to answer them prior to me asking these people, but I'll ask them anyway. It's only an hour and a half. I don't know how many seats there are, and I don't know what you have to do to ask a question, but it is on Wednesday, May 11th, which is exactly a week from today, and I don't know when I'm going to post this, but as of right now, it is 12:32 a.m., Wednesday, May the 4th. So tomorrow is Cinco de Mayo, and a month anniversary of mine. But okay, so that's just what I wanted to update you guys on. I hope everyone's having a good time if they're already on their summer break, and if they're not, I hope that they're looking forward to summer and studying hard for finals, because, I mean, it's the home stretch. But okay, I'm gonna go ahead and check out now. I'm sorry that this is not the most informational video, but it's gonna lead into one. There's probably gonna be like 3 parts or whatever. I might even be able to film myself like while I'm actually talking to these people, so that would be kind of cool. And I don't know if I told you guys, but I got a camera, and it's a pretty fancy one. It takes great pictures. It's a Nikon P500. Well, it doesn't have the name on it. Well, I don't know, but the zoom on this bad boy is crazy. It is 36 times zoom. And I don't know if any of you guys are from A&M or have been to A&M, but if you have, this should sound very familiar. I can see by the MSC, I can take a picture from the MSC and tell you exactly what time it is on the clock tower. If you're not from A&M, that means nothing to you. But if you are, your mouth is probably wide open, like... But no, I don't know if it shoots HD yet. I'll actually find that out while I'm editing this video. I'm probably cutting it shorter, but yeah, so that's what's going on, and I will be sure to keep you guys updated on what's up with my med school, probably after finals though, because I got geography, accounting, and OChem all within 36 hours of each other, so gotta go study hard. But okay, like I said, hope everyone's having a great time, or getting ready to have a great time if they're doing finals. I wish you all the best, and let's get it done. Alright, sayonara! That means bye in some kind of language.